KFIZ News Time 8:11. Welcome to this week's edition of Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. Lines are open for you. As always, we recommend an early phone call, 920-923-1450, 888-900-1450. And for you bashful folks, email is kfizstudio@gmail.com. Feel free to send a photo or two. Makes it much easier for the gang here to figure out exactly what you're describing on your email. And joining us this morning, it is, I'll use it again, inimitable, Ron Rademann.
Good morning. Still don't know how to spell that, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
Not in the great scheme of things.
Well, I think summer's here. Now we got, a hot, dry end of May, as it turned out, and the next 10 days, 2 weeks, looks like it's going to be pretty hot and dry going forward. So time to start watering already, which is typically a little early a lot of times. And, and everybody's like, right now when I tell them you got to water, they're like, oh, it was a wet spring. And I go, yeah, it was a wet March and a wet April, and it's a dry May.
Yeah.
So
what came left.
And we got a couple other more people here today.
We do.
So
Patti is here.
Good morning.
You we recognize. Who'd you bring?
I brought my cohort for the plant sale, Margie Winter.
Hi, Margie. Welcome, and good to see you, and welcome to the radio.
Good morning.
So, for you listeners, we've got the team of experts ready for you. Let's start off, though, as Rademann open today.
Yes, of course. It's Saturday morning. Rademann's is open till noon today. So noon comes pretty quick. It's after 8 already, obviously. And we get, as in the show, we get busier and busier as the morning rolls on at Rademann's too. Well, it's actually pretty busy from about 7 o'clock on at Rademann's. And then a lot of times there's a little lull in there around now or 9 or something, and then it starts getting busier and busier as the morning goes. So
the early risers are there early, the late risers are there a little bit later. That window is open.
Yeah, and it's always just, there's usually 2 or 3 people waiting for the gates to open on Saturday morning, and then that wave kind of gets on with their Saturday morning work, and we go on from there. So, but as far as I know, I think you can still get a delivery this morning at Rademann's. So, but it's best there too to call early, because obviously there's only so many drivers and so many trucks available, and we have no control. You can get 10 phone calls in 10 minutes, or you can get 10 phone calls all morning. You just never really know. So call early if you want a delivery, and we'll get you set up with that, or stop on out, and the gang is all there till noon today, noon Saturday here this morning. So
don't get there at 5 to noon.
It's best if you don't. There probably will still be somebody there, or somebody they're actually probably still working with yet at 5 to noon. But, you always get better service if you can get there earlier. So
already. Advice to be taken and heeded. 923-1450, 888-900-1450. Email-wise, kfizstudio@gmail.com.
I wanted to just tell people, if they have any questions about prairie planting or natives, Margie's an expert. She's a member of the Arboretum, and she does workshops, and she can talk about that.
Okay, well, question then. Is it advisable, if you have a garden space, to go with natives?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. The natives, they evolved and established here long before we were here. So they're very resilient. Lots of variety. All the birds and the pollinators love them. So, native flowers are definitely, and grasses, shrubs, everything, are definitely a good choice.
And I guess being a neophyte with that, are plants like that easy to maintain year to year? Are they, because they're native, they're used to the weather?
Yeah, they're highly adaptable. Yeah, they're adapted to the climate, the soil, definitely.
So it's a good choice.
So it's a good choice. Yes.
Probably the key to that is the soil and the climate conditions. They're used to the fluctuation, the hot summers, but not so hot summers, and the cold winters, and the soil is probably one of the most important things. If you have native or indigenous plants, it's completely different if you get into the sand country out west of Fond du Lac. The red granites and watomas, they have different native plants, prairie plants, deciduous plants, evergreens, everything, different trees for that matter too than what we have here in the Fond du Lac area. And that's where Margie does a lot of her work at the Gottfried Arboretum right here in Fond du Lac. So, and in Fond du Lac, even in Fond du Lac County, we've got a pretty varied. If you get out towards the Kettle Moraine, Campbellsport area, it's hilly and gravelly, and if you're in the Fond du Lac city area, we have mostly good, rich, deep black dirt. Then you get on the east side of Fond du Lac, it's more red clay. You get out west of Fond du Lac, and the soils are a little more perk a little bit better out there. And of course, at the Gottfried Arboretum, you have a little bit of all of that, because you have parts of the Fond du Lac clay, you have parts of the good deep soil that we have here in deep black rich soil that we have here in Fond du Lac. So,
what are some of the plants that are considered native plants? What are you
Well,
looking at?
they kind of break them down into the grasses and the forbs. The forbs are the flowers.
Okay.
So some of the native grasses would be things like little blue stem, big blue stem, Indian grass, Cytotsgrama. Some are tall, some are shorter, depending on the soils, if it's really wet or dry. A lot of the flowers are things like cone flowers, actually, like purple cone flowers and pale purple cone flowers. There's
Well, those are all natives.
yes.
Wow.
A lot of the cultivated ones of fancy colors you see, like at a garden center, were originated with the native purple coneflower, and then they crossbred them and created all these fancy ones. But the native ones are pale purple, and then there's yellow coneflowers. There's baptisia, large flowering plants like indigo, white wild indigo, blue false indigo. That's something that's just about to bloom right now. It's one of the earlier ones.
There's the cultivated ones are what they did was, by enhancing them, they made them less native-ish and cultivated, so their root systems aren't going to be as sturdy. The roots of prairie plants go down 3 feet. A lot of them. Or more.
A lot.
Really?
Some of them go down 9 feet, 10 feet.
Yeah.
For a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, like compass plant and prairie dock. They're tall plants in the sunflower family. They're a nice focal point to put it, say, in a home garden.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on a dry year, they're just maybe not quite as tall, but you
But
don't
still
have.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get very tall, usually.
So if somebody wants to get into doing something like this, where do you find them?
Well, you can check with the Friends of the Godfrey Prairie and Arboretum, because we do workshops. We have a festival in August called Prairie Fest. That's a fun one. You can go to Hensey's has now added in a native plant section, and you can go there and find native plants. But watching for workshops and presentations. Fond du Lac County Audubon Society does some presentations, offers once a month, and sometimes those relate to prairies too.
So you got
Prairie.
some resources.
Yes.
Hensey's, it's Hensey's Floral on Fond du Lac Avenue out that way. And they've got, like Margie said, a great selection there of different native perennials and grasses and things from, that are indigenous to our area here. And some of those, they're not, they're selected varieties of native plants too. So in some of the, like the blue stems, there's some different blue stem grasses, for example. There's still blue stem, like big blue stem or little blue stem. And obviously the difference is little blue stem is more knee-high grass, and big blue stem gets, 3, 4, 5 feet tall sometimes, or by the time it heads out with their flowers. And seed heads, I guess, is really more of what it is in grasses.
Margie always has a selection, a smithering of natives at our plant sale every year. So we always appreciate her bringing some to the plant sale so we can offer those at that time too.
Well, I got some coneflowers there, so maybe I found your little nook. And they're in the ground, so apparently I'm doing something native and didn't even know it.
Could be. Depends on if you went over to the native section. We had a section for natives only.
Oh, I don't know.
And then we
I
had
walked
the
around
perennials.
everywhere.
Yes, yes. We had a lot of stuff there.
You certainly did. Another question comes to mind. With these natives, are you totally limited to a totally sunny area, or are there some natives that like a little shade and sun, or some that you could even put in a shadier area?
Oh, definitely. There's lots and lots of like woodland wildflowers that like shade or part shade.
Well, it's true. They grow under the canopy of the trees.
yes.
They're shade all the time.
Mm-hmm. Things like the trilliums and the
Woodland
anemones. Oh, yeah, the violets. Yeah,
violets. Of course.
lots of violets. There's lots and lots of different natives for shade, part shade, and also then sun. Though that would just be more of the prairie species as opposed to maybe the savanna species and the woodland species.
So whatever your scenario is, there's something for it, and you can go native.
Yeah, and the bees and butterflies will be there. They love them. It's really good for the bees and butterflies. And if the insects are there, then you'll be attracting a lot of birds as well.
So it's a win-win-win
Yeah.
for whatever you want to watch.
Yeah. So even if you only incorporate a few into your landscape, it's interesting to have those mixed in with your regular perennials too.
Mm-hmm. All righty, we're waiting for our first call. That's just coming in, so let's take our break before we take the call.
All right, let's do that. We'll take a little break here. If anybody wants to head on out to Rademann's here this morning, or as the week progresses, we're open until noon on Saturdays, Monday through Friday till 4:30. And the easiest way is to work your way over to Highway 41, and then 3 miles south of Fond du Lac, exit on County B to the east.
And we are back. 920-923-1450, 888-900-1450. Email, it's kfizstudio@gmail.com. We'll be taking our first caller in a second here. Just a quick reminder, when we are on the phone with a caller, with this system, we don't have the capability of taking an off-air caller to put you on hold. So you got to wait till the caller is done and then call in. So good morning. You're on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Hi. I was just wondering, I've noticed a lot of bumblebees this summer so far, spring, but not a lot of the other smaller bees. I was wondering if you noticed anything like that.
I kind of did too. I didn't see as many on the apples this year, the pollinators. So
No, I didn't
I don't
either.
know.
I've got 4 apple trees, and one has no blossoms. Now, there's some that only blossom every other year. Is that true?
Some apple trees or fruit trees, a lot of different varieties of different plants. Yeah, you'll get a few blossoms, but you'll get a lot of them are stronger blossoming every other year. Some of the newer varieties of apple trees, they've kind of worked their way through that, and they are better than some of the older varieties that way. But yes, that's true. Not true on all varieties, but some. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I didn't notice many bees on the trees either, on the blossoms.
I did notice a lot of more intensity of the webworm issue this year than normal years, though.
Oh, I haven't had that. Last year, a friend of mine did.
I got to
So what do you
figure
do
out.
with them?
I
What do
don't
you-
know. Let's see what Ron says we should do.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what I do, when they crop up, and we're talking tent caterpillars right now. Actually, it's not really there's webworm, which is more of a summer or fall webworm, but the eastern tent caterpillar. Usually, if you just break those nests up, so all I do is take a stick or a pole or something and bust the nest up, and usually that's enough it opens it up to the birds then can get at those caterpillars, and it's way easier. If you try spraying it doesn't usually work because you're trying to get inside. They're protected inside their tent, but
Right.
so if you just open it up, though, you don't usually have to even spray because then the birds will get after them. Usually rather quickly they find them.
What if you can't reach it?
You need
Get a longer
long-
pole.
You need a longer pole or a taller ladder. The good news is what it's usually happens, it's more on fruit trees so it's not typically found on taller trees. So a lot of times you're not up that far then.
I have some older varieties that are pretty tall, so
Do any of the sprays that are treated on the trees early in the season, do they help prevent that?
No, not really. The only one that might help a little bit would be a dormant oil application, but a lot of times that doesn't even work. It'll suppress, or you can kind of if you can see where those egg masses sometimes earlier in the year before they even start hatching and growing. But obviously, once you see the nests, the tents, then you've got to move quickly.
So what does the egg mass look like?
It's kind of usually about as big as your thumbnail, and then it's just a bunch of little white dots, and you can kind of just peel it right off. Actually, if you see it on the branch, you can just take your hand and just.
Is it just on the top of the branch or on the back of the leaves, or where?
No, it's on the branches. It's literally right on the branches, and then that they start emerging from that and building their tent.
Those should probably be getting watered right about now, right? These are about 4 or 5 years old.
Well, anything that was planted in the last year or two could actually probably use watering right now. Typically, if you just planted this year, you definitely will have to be watering right now because we haven't had enough rain here over the last 3 weeks, and we've had plenty of hot weather. And even if you planted last year, what I usually tell people is water once a month, once in May, once in June, once in July, no matter what. It just kind of keeps the trees, plants healthy. So if they've been in out there for 2 or 3 or 4 years, they're probably okay, but that doesn't mean a watering wouldn't help. It'll definitely still help them. So.
Right. All right, thanks. I mainly wanted to know about the bumblebees, so anyway, thanks.
Yeah, and it's kind of almost a little too early to see too much bee activity.
Right. There's not a lot of flowering, not in my yard anyway yet.
I've mostly only seen the really large, big females. They come out first.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've seen.
They like to fly into my globe arborvitae. I don't know what they're doing in there.
Yeah, that's hard to say why they would be in there. Actually, there's no pollinating to be done on globe arborvitae.
Yeah, it's right next to the garden shed, so I hope they're not building a nest. All right, thanks for the.
All right,
for
appreciate
the
the call.
Thanks for the
And
call.
Lines are now open, 920-923-1450, 888-900-1450. And again, that email address, kfizstudio@gmail.com.
And we'll just kind of remind everybody one more time, too, if you're tuning in late or have to cut out early, you can always see a replay of our show on KFIZ On Demand, or you can also go on YouTube and watch us there. There you search for Landscape Smart 26, and we'll pop right up. So
Even today's show by, early next week.
yeah, Cody usually works on them on Mondays, Sunday afternoons or Mondays, so you usually can't find us on YouTube until Monday afternoon or Monday night. So
I don't know if this last winter was, I don't know, the cold was timed wrong and it was too dry going into it, but I lost a 5 or 6 year old quick fire hydrangea, and one of my elderberry bushes just croaked right off. I don't know.
yeah, I saw some winter dieback in a lot of elderberry. Not so much the native elderberry;
No.
those all seem to do just fine. But some of these newer cultivated varieties, there was definitely some dieback on lemony lace and black ice.
That's
fancy,
what I have.
yeah,
The
the fancy,
yeah.
the fancy elderberries, but I didn't see anything in elderberry. Typically, what happens is they're generally hardy around here, but because they grow a little bit too late into September and October, a lot of times they're still growing and then they'll freeze back. But typically, then they're more perennial, like they'll come back up from the ground. And even the native elderberry, those typically will have a lot of tip dieback on each year too, but not as severely as some of the other cultivated varieties of elderberry.
Well, everybody who was trying to call stopped calling.
Well, they'll try back.
Try it back, 923-1450, 888-900-1450. And while we're waiting for that, let's take our second break, because if we have calls coming in,
and we can
'em.
take a call that way.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a break. As I said earlier, you can still get a delivery from Rademann's this morning or anytime next week. You can give them a call at 920-922-7612 or stop on out just 3 miles south of Fond du Lac and then east on County B, a quarter mile right at the crest of the hill.
KFIZ News Time, 8:39. We are back. Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. Let's head to the phones. Good morning. Thanks for waiting. You are on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a question about some ground cover. I have about a 30-year-old crabapple tree in my front landscaping that kind of goes along my sidewalk. It's probably like a 5 foot area. And I was wondering, are there native ground covers that would maybe only be maybe a foot tall at the most? Because I also have daylilies and the forester reedgrass in that landscaping too. But I need something for under that tree.
So is it pretty shady?
It is. Well, it's kind of half and half, yeah.
Sure, there is. Right now, something that it would be blooming early is wild geranium. That's about a foot tall, and it spreads like a ground cover.
Woodruff? Sweet woodruff? Well, that's not a native, though.
Yeah, not quite here, but that would do well too. Sweet woodruff would. There's wild ginger. It's a nice native ground cover,
It's really cute.
and that can tolerate all wet, dry and everything in between. There's not a showy flower with that, but it's a nice ground cover.
Now those the geranium that's kind of soft pink lavender flower.
Lavender, yeah, yeah. And
what
it's
about anemone?
Yeah, Canada anemone could be another one that's just starting now. It's a white. It's much like the wild geranium as well, and it'll spread fine under there. It's real pretty white flowers, nice size white flowers.
Okay. Yeah, my house faces north, so that tree is north, so it gets a little bit of morning sun. But do any of these stay green or growing like during the winter?
No, not the ones I've been mentioning. No, they don't.
No. Most of your deciduous natives and perennials, they're not going to stay green. I mean, herbaceous, I should say.
Are there any like evergreen type of ground covers that would go underneath that?
Not
tree?
native.
No.
Not there. There's vinca ground covers that are.
Do they stay
Maybe
green?
they stay a little bit green.
Yeah, they kind of hold their leaves a little bit, and I don't know if does vinca, would that be? Would you call that is that indigenous to our area?
No, it's not.
I didn't think
No,
so.
vinca is not a native.
Yeah, it gets a
that
little.
landscaping, yeah.
Yeah, you are somewhat limited there. If it is shady, you're definitely you need a true woodland planting. Then that it's kind of probably have to go out through Hobbs Woods and walk around and see what's growing in the shade out there. Mm-hmm.
Right, because yes, it's all rock there too. So I don't know if there's certain plants or tree or ground cover that do better in rocks.
Well, a sedum would, but that's not going to do well in the shade.
Okay.
Like a
I
traveling
have sedum in
sedum.
I do have sedum in my other landscaping, and that wouldn't probably do so well then. They're
No.
probably a little bit too big for what I'm looking. They're probably too high for what I'm looking for also.
Well, there's ones that are ground cover.
Okay.
They
All right.
spread across the ground, but they're not going to do well in shade. They'll probably grow, but I don't think they'll be flowering at all. They'll just, I don't know.
Survive, but
Survive,
not thrive.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all your information. I'll have to go to the nurseries and check them out.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for the
Or to
call.
Oswood. You're welcome. Thank
Take
you
care.
now.
Bye-bye. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi there. I have a question. Can we plant strawberries right now, even though we might not get any strawberries this year? It's not too late or anything, is it?
No, it's perfectly fine to plant now. You just won't probably get strawberries.
'Cause I know last year we planted a bunch of strawberries in our garden bed, and an animal came and chewed half of them off, and a woodchuck. And
Oh, jeez.
the ones we had left over from last year, they're starting to flower.
Well, if you plant more, can you keep the woodchuck out?
I hope so. Is this Patty?
Yes.
Hi, Patty. It's Terry.
Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to it's going to have to be a fence, I think, if you're going to keep that woodchuck out.
Okay.
And sometimes they can even climb fences. I don't know.
Or
I
burrow
swear.
around them or under
Yeah.
them.
Okay. Oh, we got some dirt last week from Rademann's. You guys are awesome.
Well, thank you.
The dirt is awesome. They delivered wonderfully. We're very happy what you guys did for us. We thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for the call. Wow.
Send Ron your bill.
Thank you.
All righty, good luck. 923-1450, 888-900-1450. Give us a shout. Somebody was just trying to get in here, but they hung up, so give us a call back. We'll get you on the air. That's not them.
Oh, okay.
That's the former caller. It takes forever for this phone to hang up.
I didn't realize woodchucks could climb trees until I saw them.
Really?
Yes, they're naughty. They're very naughty.
Yeah. Yeah. Morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning. Question for you. I would like to weed and feed my lawn, and it's been kind of dry. There's been no dew in the morning, and it's supposed to be kind of dry the next couple of weeks. What are your thoughts?
Well, you're not going to get as good a results if it's not actively growing. Typically, yet you'd still want to use step 2, and we always say here in central Wisconsin, east central, south central, wherever we are, depending on how you look at your map, I guess. But up until about June 15th, you should still be working with step 2, and that's going to have some weed killer in it and some fertilizer, primarily nitrogen. And I think I would probably still go ahead and do it, and kind of watch for rain or hope for rain, or if you even want to do the front lawn and water it, and then wait a few days and do the back lawn and backyard and water it, you're going to definitely have better results. And I don't know, it just doesn't look like there's even much for any rain in the forecast, but
50-50 Friday.
yeah, and that's when you're looking 6 days out.
Yeah, and they're scattered.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one there. So, yeah, I guess
I just wait until spring or on fall and do it instead then, and just kind of give up for now, or what are your thoughts?
No, I think I would still go ahead and apply it. Just use it towards the lower end of the range. In a lot of cases, it's going to be, 3 pounds a square foot or 5 pounds or 7. It'll give you a range, between 3 and 10 per 1,000 square feet, something along those lines. And then just use the smaller part of the range. And then if we would get some rain, then you could go back and put a second application on yet. But at this time, right now, I think I would just do more of go ahead and do it. You can't really wait forever. It is still only May, let's just say. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if I do it and there's no rain and then you mow lawn, well, now you're kind of disrupting everything anyways, aren't you?
Well, and you would definitely want to mow first and then apply your chemicals at that point in time, and then typically if we can get by a week or 10 days, we will get some moisture, hopefully, even if it's only a tenth or two. That still helps wash it off the grass blades. Mm-hmm.
Right. But the problem is it's not even going to attach the blades now that it's so dry out, right? Because that's why I've been waiting for every morning for dew, and we're just not getting dew in the morning.
Well, primarily you're just trying to get it onto the root system anyway, and so if it falls down and it's in the soil, it just kind of lays there until it rains it in and settles it in.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to necessarily be on the blades, but you're definitely going to get better weed kill if it sticks to the blades. Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call. 923-1450. We'll dive into break number 3.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. They had some scattered, showers up north too. So, just as close as Oshkosh, at least would have helped with the lawn part of it. Anyway, Rademann's again open till noon today, Saturday, Monday through Friday till 4:30. And we are located just 3 miles south of Fond du Lac, just about a quarter mile east of Highway 41 on County B.
We are back. The final few minutes of this week's edition of Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. We got a caller on the line. Let's go to it. Good morning. Thanks for waiting.
Good morning. I've heard that putting cayenne pepper on your plants will help deter little critters.
Some maybe, but sometimes they think it's a garnish. I don't know.
That's what I was wondering, and if you did put it on there, would that go into the soil and hurt the plant?
No.
Okay.
Have you ever used it, Marge?
Yes, I think it was very temporary.
Yeah, very temporary.
The wind can blow it. The rain will wash it off.
Rain will wash it off.
However, I just recently read something that said you should use pepper flakes like you put on your pizza, and that might be more effective. So I haven't tried that, so I'm not sure about that.
That would definitely last longer.
Yeah.
If it rained.
Well,
But
I've
yeah.
got enough plants I can try it on both, or try both of them and see which one. And
Yeah.
And call us back in a few weeks and let us know.
I've tried other stuff, and they're very determined. Like
What do you
said, probably more of a
think it
garden.
is? What do you think is doing it? Eating them?
Well, I've got the woodchucks, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure who did in my dahlias last year. And we just have everything in our backyard, so who knows?
Yeah. Woodchucks wouldn't be deterred by red pepper flakes, I don't think.
Well, and they're not really, woodchucks typically aren't really eating foliage. It's going to deter probably rabbits more than anything. But at this time of
Now,
year,
they're up higher, so these aren't rabbits.
oh,
So I wonder if the chipmunks might be helping.
If they're up higher, it would be most likely possibly deer.
We haven't caught those on the camera yet, only one last year.
Okay.
yeah, that is.
Well-
If it's when you say up higher, do you mean like a foot up high, or 2 feet up high, or 3 feet?
About a foot and a half, maybe.
Yeah, that's taller than most rabbits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
we got the foxes to take care of them, too.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
So any other suggestions for, we've got the pepper flakes, the pepper powder, cayenne pepper powder, anything else? Because I've tried that dried blood meal. Yeah, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they're really, I don't know, as many things as I've heard so many people try just about everything, and nothing really is completely works. So even
What about
on
putting...
like
ahead.
arborvitas, there's certain varieties of arborvitas that they say they're deer proof. Well, they're only deer proof when
To the dumbest deer.
they'll still eat them too before they starve to death. But
There's a new product that is recommended by Melinda Myers called Skid. That supposedly is longer lasting too. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if it stinks like the other repellent stuff, but it's supposed to last longer through some rains and things.
Well, you gave me a few ideas. And what about, like, I was going to say the netting. Yeah, they'd probably chew through that, like you said.
Well, maybe not.
no, netting would definitely work, but of course, no one really wants to look at netting either. That's part of the problem there. So,
Point then.
yeah. Mhm.
It's. I just don't want them to get stuck in it either.
I'm trying a new concoction. I just made it up that I read about online. And it's a mixture of garlic and water put in a blender, and then strain out the solids, and you add vinegar to it. So a vinegar garlic mix, and you put it in a sprayer and spray the plants. And I don't know. They didn't eat my peppers the first night, is all I can say. So
The first night.
yeah, I
Still
haven't
figuring it
checked.
out.
I just tried it. Yeah,
You could
yeah.
put red pepper flakes in there.
Well, and you have to be careful with vinegar because that'll actually damage the plants too. So, I would
Yeah, that's
be
an acid.
I would be a little,
Yeah.
some of these witch's brew concoctions you have to be pretty careful of because they are. You start mixing it up and you start spraying it, and you can do more harm than good in a
What
lot
if
of
you
cases.
mixed it with neem oil instead?
Yeah, it's mostly water and garlic, and then just a small quantity of vinegar. But I don't know. Could try neem oil.
Yeah.
I don't know. With all these foods, I think we're going to turn them into gourmet rodents.
No kidding. I'm getting hungry for pizza listening to all this.
Italian restaurants really close by.
All
Okay.
right. Yep.
Yeah, so just keep trying different stuff and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any plants that they don't like that you could plant around? Well, they just cross around.
Not-
Forget it.
Not really, but they
Well, first of all,
dislike
you
a
need-
little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of figure out what what animal you're trying to prevent. First of all,
Yeah.
that's kind of the key there, because obviously, rabbits eat different things than deer, and
Yeah.
deer eat different things than woodchuck. So and chipmunks, and all of those things. So it kind of starts with trying to figure out what your problem is. Other than if you just you got a problem, you got to at least try and find out what's actually doing the damage. So.
Well, last year I had like a pile or it was a plant of daisies, and the squirrel sat right in the middle. It was so cute. I should have gotten a picture. But yeah, so it's okay. We'll just try different things and see what happens.
And when you find one that works, let us know.
Yes. Yes.
I think we'll have.
You can be Dr. Experiment.
Oh gosh, heaven help us all.
Good luck.
Sorry.
Thanks for the
a lot. Have a
call.
good one.
Take care. And that sounds like the end of the show.
Wow, went zipped right by. I just wanted to mention Margie is at Hensey's here today. As soon as the show ends, and also tomorrow. So if anybody wants to visit her and
Talk
check
native.
out the native perennials and forbs and grasses. Again, Rademann's open till noon today, Monday through Friday till 4:30. 920-922-7612, or otherwise just stop on out 3 miles south of Fond du Lac and then east on County B a quarter mile.
All righty. Our thanks to Margie and Patti, the gardeners. Our thanks to Ron Rademann, and always our thanks to you for your calls and questions.